Hey everyone, Travis here at towards the end of day 2, week 10 of the LCS in Europe with nRated, following the Gambit rematch from the Aatrox bugged game yesterday. I'm here with nRated. You guys just won. The first question is obviously did you want this game to occur?
Well, first of all, we never said anything towards a rematch. We never wanted one. We never enforced one. It was Riot's decision, and we just had to do it because in the league rules it says that every match that is scheduled needs to be played, and not we couldn't just purpose lose or anything. We had to play the match. It was not our decision, and it's really bad if the community takes it up as if we enforced in any sense. Like we never did that. We also apologized after the game for Gambit for all the inconvenience and everything that happened because I don't feel like we should have had that game, but in the end we had to play it, and I feel like we've won fair and honest in the end, but getting that match was not really the best way. And also I feel like that match in general was not one-sided, so either side could have won, and I feel like Gambit would have deserved that win as well.
Now, a lot of people, obviously there wasn't an opportunity for this, but if the ref had offered you guys a rematch at the moment of that pause, would you have taken it?
Probably not. Like we felt like the match was even at that point, and it was not the biggest deal. The problem was that the moment we realized there was a bug with Aatrox going on, he already took a CS advantage in early, which he shouldn't have, and he also healed up from like a third of his HP to full inside of his tower at level 4, which shouldn't happen within a Renekton lane. I feel it was a disadvantage, but it wouldn't have made us remake the game.
Now, the explanation that Nick Allen posted on lawesports.com is not that the game was remade due to the Aatrox bug, but that it was remade because the referee never offered you guys a rematch. And so they felt as though the game was null and void because the option was never presented to you per the rule set. Do you agree with their decision to remake the game underneath that reasoning, like that you guys were not provided the rematch option at that time?
I feel like against any opponent they would have done that just to be equal with every player, and I feel like under that circumstance I would agree on it. But the point was that we just explained the bug to a referee, and he didn't properly respond according to their rule work, which is a fault of their side. And I don't want to say that any player has a disadvantage just because a referee didn't like properly execute the rule work that they had. So I feel like a rematch was at this point legitimate somehow.
Um, if can you maybe describe to me what the conversation was between your team and the referee yesterday?
Well, it was more like we tried to explain the Aatrox bug that he healed with every second hit and not every fourth hit or third hit. I don't even know which one it is. Right. I think it's third. Yeah, no, second hit was the bug.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. The problem is like his heal was exponentially higher, 30%, and it just felt like we tried to explain to him in this scenario, okay, this is the bug, and we somehow need to stop that. And that was all we said. And he even asked someone from QA, from Riot, to just try to assure that nothing was going wrong and to like identify the bug. And all we did was just like untoggle it and unpaused, and just the game continued. That was the whole situation for us. And in the end, we lost. And just before we came here in LCS today, like 30 minutes before our shuttle came, we basically got told, okay, guys, you got 2 games today. You will rematch. Yeah, we'll have a rematch versus Gambit. And there was nothing on us, like no decision whatsoever. We were never asked.
Okay, so you guys were not contacted beforehand. That we were just told, and you were told shortly before your shuttle arrived.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the initial reaction of the team?
Well, to be honest, we were gladly happy because we had a loss, and having a loss and getting the opportunity to get back a win from it is a big deal for any one of us. And we're playing LCS, so the standings right now in Europe are very close, and every win matters. So we feel like it was a bit of a relief. Instead of going like already 0-1 in this week, we had like already 0-0 and just restarted the week for us completely. But on the other side, we already noticed like if that goes on Reddit, we will already get so much hate but it was not even our fault, like not at all.
A lot of people are making comparisons between what happened in your game and like the bug that St. Vicious reported in the Cursed Coast game with Annie ult. Do you think that that's a fair comparison?
Well, I feel like the comparison is somewhat relevant, but on the other side, St. Vicious didn't initially pause before, and he just didn't like instantly report the bug and say, okay, this is a game-breaking bug, like we need to do something about it. He just let it go, and they couldn't afterwards possibly say if it was a bug or if he just misclicked. And if that's the case and you cannot report it in that situation, I feel like it's a bit of a different situation as well.
There is some evidence that has popped up on Reddit within, I think, maybe even the past hour, possibly even during your game. And I don't want to assert this as evidence because, I mean, I haven't had a chance to read through all of it yet. But there have been some forum links that have popped up, possibly revealing that this bug might have been occurring as far back as September. Any thoughts on that situation? I mean, even some people, I think, some of the more extreme reactions have been like, well, it's strange that these games aren't getting replayed or something like that, or like it's weird that this bug existed during Worlds, but in this situation, it was allowed to affect a situation.
Well, the point was I personally didn't know about that bug at all, and we experienced it in game. And in that moment, we just went to the referee and said, "Hey, this is a bug." We just like we made sure that everyone realizes that this is a bug and there's something wrong, and we didn't want to play with it. Like we handled it according to the rule work, and I think that's fair. And if others didn't realize it or didn't like report it at all, I feel like that was a miss or a lack of communication in that moment. But that was not our fault. We just reported it, and that's why this whole situation appeared, basically.
So it really came down in your mind just to that moment when you paused and reported.
Exactly.
I guess the final question I have for you is just, what is there any way in which you feel this situation could have been handled better? I mean, obviously the first one is like the referee should have spoken with you, and I'm assuming that that would be the better way to handle it. But anything after that that you would have liked to have seen different?
Well, I don't really know. Like, if they asked us for a remake, I'm not even sure what our answer would have been. I think they would have been internally discussed, and I cannot say it right now. But I feel like overall, it should have been more communication, especially right after the game. I think there could have been something going on between the game just because of Riot and their rule work. They could have already said what would happen, or could have already enforced any remake or whatsoever on the same day. But coming the next day seems a bit sloppy.
Thank you so much for the interview, nRated. Really appreciate it. Congratulations on the win, bittersweet sweet as it may be. Yes.
Last word. I just want to apologize to all the fans and especially to Gambit, because I feel like that whole thing was a big trouble, and I think Gambit deserved the win as well, and I just feel sorry for it.
Well, thank you. That's very big of you. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage of all things LCS at ongamers.com.